stable, look like monsters now. Look at Oscar Valdez, man. He looked strong, man. He looked really like an animal. I was impressed, but something's happening there. I don't know.
He did fail 2 drug tests in the past, so you never know. And the WBC they increased the computer roll limit. So
let me go back to what I was saying. He generates a lot of money, right? So, a little slap, Don't do it again. I mean, with steroids or without steroids, I think David's going to give the fans a good fight. And he is going to have problems. I'm not saying that we're going to beat him. We're going to try to beat him. I got to give him my respects to you. He's strong. He's very disciplined. But at the same time, with steroids or without steroids, we are going to give the people a good fight.
What's your thoughts on Saunders? He came out and said, listen, I'm not in shape. I haven't been training. I don't know if he make it.
A super soldier serum, codenamed Venom, to which I add my very own recipe of steroids and toxins. Like a myth? Time to scream. Machine. I call this little number Bane. Bane.
Does he have any suspicions about Canelo?
¿Tú crees que Canelo sí estaba haciéndolo o tú crees que? ¿Ah?
Yo creo que sí. Claro, el cuerpo le cambió, la cabeza le cambió, todo le cambió.
He says, yeah, I mean, if you look at his body changed a lot. His head got bigger. Those are telltale signs. But like he says, until the jury's out, the verdict's out, it's hard to say.
You fought him then. Do you feel that maybe something like that was going on with your fight with him?
No tiene que, cuando yo peleé con él no tiene que ver nada con lo que tenía ahora, con el cuerpo que tiene ahora. Es diferente.
He said no, all fights are different.
Cuando aquel tiempo era un gordo, no era un hombre como estaba ahora, estaba bien fuerte, bien.
Yeah, so when he saw him more at that way, he was more like a chunky guy, a little fat, but now he sees him big, strong, swole, muscles bulging, but
I bet you're wondering what I eat for dinner. I don't. I play Super Smash Brothers all day long. Thank you guys again so much for joining. And again, like always, let's shock the world. Let's shock everybody that's doubting. Let's go.
Man, that kid is using more than just steroids. To have that much energy eating, what is he eating, 500 calories? He had 1 bite of avocado toast. He had a hard-boiled egg. He had some lettuce turkey wraps for lunch. He could not have consumed more than 500-600 calories. And he's doing a 5-mile run, a couple hours of boxing workouts every day. This is definitely a complete lie. There's no way he's able to sustain that caloric amount. Maybe this is what he would eat if he was cutting weight, but the video is titled "What a Professional Boxer Eats in a Day." I really don't like these people. This is even more misleading than the vegan girls. At least
now you can continue unimpeded with your unusual training ritual. The pills will enhance the effects of X4 and help regulate your metabolism. The more you take, the greater your strength will increase. However, you will experience intense pain throughout the first week while your body adapts to the accelerated growth process.
More power. I need a body that can withstand more rigorous training.
Your body has already performed well beyond expected limits. If we increase the dosage, the effects to your internal organs may be disastrous. Your heart could explode.
I already told you the consequences are meaningless. I must get stronger. I don't care if I live one more year.
Betamine? Betamine? Something like that. Those medical names are crazy, but so go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's your thoughts on it? Because his lawyer said he got it from drinking herbal tea.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know. I'm kind of allergic to bullshit, but the thing is, like, you know, a lot of people don't. Not just people, I'll change what I'm saying. A lot of teens don't realize that these types of banned substances, there's so many out there, and then there's so many that can't be detected. There's some that can be detected within the first 24, 48 hours you take it, and then there's other stuff that you can't detect. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of negatives to that stuff. If he didn't know what the camp should do, this is a tip for everybody.
Man. What's happening with that, man? That's a myth or what? That speaks for itself, man. What's happening? I'm
gonna do it like, we could do it like old school. Let me use like 8 shit. You send a little girl a letter, yes or no, and it come back, check yes. We're gonna check the yes box. Fake ass nigga.
Said there's no way that shit could be found in herbal tea. The plot thickens. It's not in herbal tea. The molecule structure of amphetamine is not in herbal tea, said Conte to ESPN. It's a dog ate my homework stuff. So he basically saying this dude dog ate my homework. You know, basically Victor Conte saying this dude's trying to cover some shit up. No promoter wants to lose money. This is not in contained supplements. This is designed to help you cut weight. It's an appetite suppressant, which is what you're doing when you're cutting weight. So it's to help him to help his urges to eat, be hungry. Because, you know, these fighters be cutting weight, draining themselves to make these weights, and they be hungry as fuck. And this is supposedly to help him cut that weight. It's a prescription-only medication. Wow. Does he have a doctor's prescription? Let's see it, says Victor Conte. Wow.
Dr. Baron Pittenger to Mr. Lewis.
I must confirm that analysis for your specimen B was positive for pseudoephedrine, ephedrine, and phenylpropylamine. Is that what it is?
Phenylpropylamine. Yeah.
IOC banned stimulants. By policy of the USOC, this finding is cause for disqualification from the Olympic team for the 1988 Summer Olympic Games in Seoul, Korea. Wow.
This was basically a letter that said that you had failed the test and that there was a consequence to that failure. As you all know, that didn't come about.
You actually received a letter or a call that you had failed a drug test because of some stimulants?
Yeah, it was like a cold medicine type thing, an herbal supplement.
They made up this term. It was called inadvertent use. An athlete took something without meaning to take it or without meaning to gain an advantage from taking it.
And so they made that up to basically kind of let people off the hook?
Oh, yeah.
Quickly back in play. Oh, lovely play there as Redondo tries to go through. There's a shot! Glorious goal! He's done it! Maradona! And look at these emotional scenes. There is something extra special about. We were saying, would he explode into the game?
FIFA's routine drugs test revealed that at first he tested positive for ephedrine, but subsequently it was revealed to be a cocktail of 5 different banned substances. Maradona denied it to the end.
I swear that I didn't take any substance that FIFA could ban me for. And I would also like to say that I have given FIFA the opportunity to reconsider their decision because I believe it to be totally unjust. Perhaps technology has the capacity to determine certain results, but I am a football player and I do not need to take anything to raise my performance on the field. I swear it. I came here to explain this matter to you all.
And speaking of past fights, you've faced Canelo right now. He's dealing with a whole bunch of issues with the clenbuterol. What do you make of all that?
They just confirmed my suspicions from 2013. You know, we asked for the random testing because we thought something might be funny, and the way they handled that, it just confirmed my suspicions.
You know, there's been several fighters that have said that they believe that, you know, before all this went public, that they were suspicious. You're definitely one of them as well.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, if you know the signs, you see them. I mean, I could put a whole thing of pictures together and show you what it looks like, using just him as the evidence.
Do you think the 6 months was enough?
No, listen, man. So you telling me that Chavez Jr. gets suspended 9 months and got fined $1 million just for weed, and my man who's taking a known, performance enhancement drug gets 6?
Canelo was caught using drugs, and they should have made an example out of him, of course, because like, dude, how long has he been on it? 6 months doesn't mean you're off it, and he's a big enough star to let people know, like, yo, we're in the hurt business. You're trying to kill somebody, trying to hurt somebody even more. Like, this shit's already a rough, tough business. So it's like, he should have made a little more example of Triple G, strong fighter, come straight forward. He has enough boxing skills. I mean, deep down inside, I think Canelo can pull it off because, he's agile, he knows how to move a little bit. But I don't know if he really has the real deal power and steam to keep Triple G off him, because look how big he was when he fought him the first time on the stuff. And now he's a little smaller, so we're gonna see what happens, man. May the best man win.
Told you I don't work for nobody, man. Why the fuck is y'all sweating me any motherfucking way, man?
Where the rocks at?
I ain't got nothing on me. I gave it up, dawg.
Where the rocks at? Open your mouth.
What is you, a doctor now?
I'm a dentist. Open your mouth. Lift up your tongue.
Ah. I ain't got shit. Your partner already done searched me. I'm straight.
Yeah, okay. You got a pen? Got a right pen? You ain't got nothing in there, right? Huh?
Nothing, man.
Come here, got nothing, huh?
Oh, God. Damn.
Now what is that?
Motherfucking crack, nigga.
That's right, Jimmy Crack Corn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you federally fucked now. You got crack.
Alright guys, Fulu coming to you with another video. I hope all is well. So, I had to talk about this, right? Thing is I'm not talking about it out of the means of hatred. I'm talking about it as a means of this ain't cool to be done in the sport. Especially a sport that I participate in a sport that I have a genuine passion for. as Demetrius Andre said, you already tried to take the guy's head off. So you mean to tell me you want to kill a guy when people are already dying in the sport of boxing? Do you know that like a Jordanian amateur died from trying to make the Olympics? And granted, this is just amateur. And granted, he had on headgear too. Okay? Another thing about that is it's just a certain point he got hit at that really activated the death. Okay? And there's videos circling around with the death. So when Mr. Valdez decides to take super soldier serum, basically beam me up, Scotty, it is going to raise some eyebrows because it's not the first time that this has came out of the camp. So people are going to say this is going to be the first response, and it's been already the response. Oh, you're just hating because it came out of the Canelo camp and you just hate Canelo. Okay. Canelo cheated before. All right. And the thing is, the Canelo fanboys will say, oh, it was just minor traces of clenbuterol. The thing is that I talked to a guy who's in the, who knows about supplements and whatnot. And he even said that beef is not really like, they put stronger stuff in beef than clenbuterol. He told me that they put things that are even like way more stronger, that they don't even use clenbuterol to like pump up an animal. So what I'm saying is like that excuse for me is null and void, because I mean, no, I don't think it, I think that's always a cop-out. I think that's always going to be the cop-out for these cheaters. Because even like in the Olympics, there was this, and you can tell she was used to the gills. I'm like, oh my God. You can see her freaking head. Her head was stressed out. Her jawline was strong. She had like, you know, just, she looked very, very, very much manly. And I think she ran 5,000 meters, I believe. And she blamed it on a pork burrito. So when you cheat, you're always going to blame it on something. But my thing is, my thing has always been, you're an athlete. You have a team around you who's aware of what you're putting into your body. Okay? They're going to tell you, okay, yeah, you may want to stay away from this. And I just really refuse to believe that natural foods, or just like foods in general, are going to have so much of an amount of a banned substance that you're going to pop hot. I refuse to believe that. And then on top of this, now this fool is saying that he blames it on tea, on herbal tea. Whereas you can't, no amount of herbal tea is going to have that much of anything, even if herbal tea did have like a banned substance in it that's going to make you do what you do. So at first they were saying that he got caught with what was it? They said that it was a diuretic. However, they now say that it's something way more stronger than diuretic. And they also say that, yes, it's a masking agent, but it's also something that basically gives you, you know how Red Bull gives you wings? This thing gives you propellers. It's called phentermine. And I believe that with phentermine, you get increased stamina, your heart rate beats faster, It activates your nervous system even more. It suppresses your appetite. It also raises your metabolism. So in essence, it gives you all these benefits in addition to help you cut weight really quick. So my thing is this. Let's just say hypothetically he had problems making weight. And so he's like, okay, well, let me just take these pills so I can make weight. Okay? The doctor prescribed these pills so it can help me make weight. Right? He didn't do it. There was no doctor or anything like that. The thing is about Team Canelo is you have to understand where they're at. They're in San Diego. It's not that hard. San Diego is basically Mexico. So it's not that hard to get that stuff over there to where they needed to get it. You know what I mean? So that, and I believe the reason why they're located in San Diego is because that gym is a strategic location. You have to understand something. The Olympic Training Center is in Chula Vista. People have popped, which is near San Diego. People have popped hot out of that Olympic Training Center. Okay, no mix. People have had dirty tests out of there. So my thing is that you basically won't own up to what you guys do. Because I'm going to tell you something. I believe all of them are juiced to the gills. I believe that Ryan Garcia is juiced to the gills. You see how his transformation looks. You know, at first he was all scrawny and skinny and stuff like that. You look at him now and it's like, okay, yeah, bro, you're definitely juiced to the gills. It doesn't have to take a genius to look at that transformation, even his like jawline and stuff like that, and realize, okay, this fool is juiced to the gills. Andrew Ruiz, how he was cutting weight. I'm like, yeah, these fools are juiced to the gills. And now picture this. Andrew Ruiz just had knee surgery, right? Canelo had knee surgery, getting rid of a sty from his knee. And a sty that builds up in the knee is usually from hardened blood. And guess where hardened blood comes from? PEDs. So, some people can be fooled, others can't. And I'm one of the ones who can't be fooled. As I said, I got the game from the old school. You know? That's what it comes down to. I got it from like the real old school. So, you know, for these new school people, and for these people who make excuses for Canelo, make excuses for Oscar Valdez and what have you, it's like, okay, well, excuses don't really work, bruh. Like, nigga got caught. You know, the nigga got caught and he's hot. That's just the bottom line. So, with that being said, there's no need to really like try to make excuses for him. And the thing is, if I was Frank Sanchez, everybody knows I like Cuban boxing. You know, everybody knows that I'm into Cuban boxing. I think Cuban boxing is very good and what have you. But if I was Frank Sanchez, I would get away from there as soon as possible. Because it's just like a bad look for them. That, you know, I mean, again, I say, you're already in a super dangerous sport as it is. What are you trying to do to a guy? It's a sport. Now, granted, it's way different from other sports. It's still a sport. Okay? So now, you have to question the knockout with Miguel Berchelt. You have to question the call-outs, because he was talking about, you know, I don't duck nobody. I want to fight Tank. I want to fight Lomachenko. I want to fight all these people. Okay? You have to question those call-outs, because those call-outs weren't there when he wasn't with Team Reynoso, okay, or Team Canelo. Those call-outs weren't even, in fact, they were crickets. I mean, we saw the Shakur Stevenson duck, you know what I mean? But again, I go back to, okay, if you can't make the weight, move up to 135. That's it. But I think I know what it is. I think I know the reason why you don't want to move up to 135. It's because you know what lies at 135. You know that you would be fresh meat to the likes of a Devin Haney. Then you may be in conflict with your stablemate, Ryan Garcia, being at the same division. I mean, not that I'm a fan of him, Teofimo Lopez, but he's probably moving up pretty soon. So you have all this smoke, and kind of already a small 130. So now we do have to look at what transpired, because when you look at the fact that he had a fight coming up, he had a fight coming up where he may have thought like, okay, I'm just gonna cycle off this real quick, right? And then he's got to be like, okay, by the time they do the testing, I'll be clean because I'm cycling off. And then, you know, they won't test for a little while longer. And I can use this mess in training camp to just be, you know what I mean, at my optimal peak, right? So now, with this being said, we have to ask ourselves this question too. Is the reason why Canelo hasn't fought on his holidays that he likes to fight on, is the reason why being that he's still cycling off some stuff? Apparently they believe it in the UK. You had Tony Bellew, and you had another UK fighter, I forgot his name. He said Canelo is juiced to the tits, okay? And he said there's unfair advantages in which Canelo has. And we have to remember that when he did pop clean or pop dirty for the clenbuterol, what did the WBC do? They increased the amounts that can be put in when you're testing. So they'll basically be like, oh, well, you know, no biggie. That's what they'll do. They'll say like, they'll be like, in essence, they'll say, it's not a big deal, right? So what's next? Are they going to do that for this? Are they going to say, oh, you can have some trace amounts of phentermine in your system? Is that going to be the next move? Granted that Oscar Valdez has the WBC belt. Are they going to stick up for him? Are they going to stick up for him like, you know, they did Canelo? It remains to be seen. It really does. It really remains to be seen. So the thing is, now the Caleb Plant, they will be doing VADA testing, but I don't know about if his other fights have VADA testing. I don't even know if the Andrew Ruiz fight had VADA testing against Areola. I didn't know if there was VADA testing or not. So now it becomes a question of, was Canelo cycling off? You know? Was he cycling off of the stuff he was on? We may never know. But chances are yes. I don't really watch Canelo workout training videos, but when you look at his training videos, this fool is squatting big weight and crap like that, having things on his knees and whatnot because he's squatting so much. So I just have to question, okay, well, I mean, that whole team has to be looked at with suspicion. And now, what I think maybe even the case is, and I'm not into conspiracy theories or anything like that, but one has to wonder, was Ryan Garcia's so-called mental illness just AKA, I need to cycle off my drug program real quick before I go get some smoke? Is that really what it was? Now that question has to be really asked at this point. And the lawyer has spoken about it, but Team Canelo has not said anything about it. Now, people may say, well, you don't have that energy for, like, because again, boxing is about race. I don't care what people say. Boxing is about race, right? That's what it's about. No matter what you say, boxing is about race. So Canelo fans and Team Canelo fans may say, well, Fula, you don't have that energy for black fighters who test pop dirty. The thing is this. The fighters who pop dirty that are black, I'm not following them. I don't support them. You're one and done with me if you pop dirty. Even if it's a guy who is from the same turf as me. Everybody knows that numero uno reason why I like Demetrius Andrade so much is the skill. Okay, the boxing skill that he has. But I mean, the other reason why is because we're from the same turf. He's from Cape Verde. I got some family and have roots in Cape Verde as well. Right? So if he were to even pop dirty, I would be like, nah, I can't support him on the channel. You know, he's been pop dirty. And so what I'm trying to say is that really when you think about it, black fighters who pop dirty, they're not really worth mentioning. Like Jean Pascal. Like, you know, Jean Pascal, I'm just being real, he had a belt at 175, but at the same time, Jean Pascal was not really popular. Jean Pascal was not really putting butts in seats. You know, and everybody knows how hard I rock with my Haitian brethren. But I don't rock with Jean Pascal because of the dirty test. And honestly, Jean Pascal he wasn't really like he was not really a skillful boxer per se, so I really didn't rock with him like that, you know. You look at Big Baby Miller, right? I don't really rock with Big Baby Miller. Nobody really rocks with Jarrell Miller. Nobody really knew who Jarrell Miller was, even in the United States. The only people who knew who Jarrell Miller was freaking what's his name? People in Brooklyn and stuff. Like, that's who really knew who Jarrell Miller was. Other than that, nobody really knew who was checking for him. And, you know, granted, you know, I rock with my Caribbeans 110%, like a hundo. But, like, I mean, I wasn't really like checking for Jarrell Miller. Like, the thing that separates someone from Team Canelo get caught versus like one of them getting caught, it's just like nobody's really checking for them. To be honest, like nobody really was big on these guys. But when you have Team Canelo, no matter who it is on that team, it's sad to say it, but people are going to look at that. People are going to hold that in more high regard because of who it's attached to. It's attached to the quote-unquote cash cow of boxing, right? So, the thing is, unfortunately, Eddie Reynoso is not known for training any other fighters, really. To be honest, although he has all those fighters in his stable, he's not really known to train any other fighters that much because of the simple fact he has his golden goose, right? So the fact that his Twitter name is Canelo Trader, the fact that it's just called Team Canelo, that's the problem. It's not called Team Valdez. It's not called Team Ruiz. It's not called Team Sanchez. Okay? It's called Team Canelo. So anybody attached to that is gonna feel the brunt. Period. Right? And here's the thing. Certain quote-unquote trainers are only good because they do have a popular fighter. In my opinion, Eddie Reynoso is just a yes man who holds the pads. And the reason I say that is because, sorry to say it, but none of his fighters have good footwork. That's why Mr. Sanchez needs to get his butt with Ismael Salas so Ismael Salas can wake up him and tell him, you're Cuban, we thrive on footwork and boxing technique. Because I'm sorry to say it, but you know, Frank Sanchez does not fight like no Cuban, man. At all. He doesn't fight like them. So if I were him, I would get away from them because of the simple fact that they're going to look at him side-eye. His own countrymen may look at him side-eye and be like, yo, like, you serious? Are you, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, bro. Here's the thing, too, and I'm going to end it on this. I think I've said enough already about the issue. If they allow this fight to go on, this title defense and whatnot, that just goes to show you what time it is in boxing and how bad it is and how unethical boxing has become. So, me personally, I know people gotta get paid. I know people gotta make money. I know that boxing is a livelihood. But would it really be like, would it really attract people to boxing if you're basically turning a blind eye to cheating in the sport. We have to just wait and see what happens. To be honest, I really never was big on Oscar Valdez. I mean, yeah, Heart of a Warrior and stuff like. The thing is this with me. There's certain terms I like to use, and these terms apply to boxing. And I'm not trying to use big words. Trust me, I'm not into big words. Words or phrases like intellectual autonomy, aggressive intelligence, you know what I mean? Things like that. I like to see those things played out in boxing, okay? Along with the warrior mindset. So a few fighters do that. You know, a few fighters have that along with the warrior mindset. So that's why it's like, for me, a warrior mindset is not enough alone. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do a special on one soccer player who basically, he symbolized what I'm talking about. You know, fighters like, again, the ones who can't get fights have that mindset, right? They're thinking, but they're also like warriors. I don't need to keep on naming them. I've named them so many times. I'm not going to keep on naming them, okay? But I know that the casual fan likes to just see the warrior mindset. Likes to see guys block shots with their head. Likes to see guys take 4 shots to give 2 shots, right? But at what expense do you like to see that with the other guy that, the guy that you like is basically Terminator, right? Evil T-1000 gets hit in the body or in the chest and basically heals at the spot of it. So, with that being said, leave y'all thoughts, leave y'all comments. I'll probably go live on Friday. Let me know if you would like to join my live on Friday, because I would like to have guests in. We can have guests on the live, and we can even have guests with opposing viewpoints. It just has to be done with respect, okay? Perhaps with an opposing viewpoint, you can open my eyes to something that maybe I didn't see. And I would be all right with that. It's not about always being right. It's about being honorable, stand up, and justful, basically. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Hope you enjoyed. Njarama. And if you want, like the video, subscribe. It's always by choice, never by force. Njarama.